Nobody hates, nobody loves wasted product inventory. In this video, I'm gonna give you 5 things that you can do right now to revamp your dead Etsy product listing. Welcome back, guys. My name is Hannah Gardner. I teach mainly how to build brands on Etsy and Shopify, but a lot of entrepreneurial stuff as well. So if that is what you're into, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. I have sold over $2 million between my Etsy and my Shopify brands. Just been documenting that journey here on this channel, and that includes all of my wins and all of my losses. And yes, there's been many losses. So as I mentioned before, nobody loves wasting inventory, especially if it's stuff that you're hand making and you don't want it just to sit on the shelf. Let's talk about what we can do to try to push inventory that maybe is not selling. But the first thing that I want to go over is, what do I deem as a dead Etsy product listing? There's pretty much 3 things that I'm looking for to really decide whether the listing is just dead or not. So the first thing that I look for is, do I have 0 ROAS in my Etsy PPC account? ROAS stands for return on ad spend. So if I go into my Etsy PPC, I'm looking at this column here and I'm seeing if I've just spent an enormous amount of money. For me, I usually go to about like $50. And if it just says 0 ROAS, which means I'm getting 0 return on ad spend, that means that listing is eating up a lot of my ad budget and it's not making me any money. But that's just one thing that I look at. I don't necessarily turn off the listing at that point in time. There's 2 other things that I look for. Just to gauge this, I'm saying if I spend about $50 or $60 on 0 ROAS for about a 3-month history of that listing being active in my ads account. Now, before I just turn that listing off, what I'm actually gonna look for next is, does the listing have any add to carts? So what I'm looking for is this badge here, because sometimes maybe it's just the attribution window, so it's not associating a sale that happened a certain amount of time after to that ROAS, to the ad itself. But for whatever reason, I am still getting a bunch of add to carts on the listing. Even if there's like 5 or 6 add to carts, people obviously are clicking on it and adding it to cart. So I don't turn off the ad if it has that. And 2, I don't turn off the ad or deem it technically as a dead listing if I just go into my normal stats and it shows historically in the last like 3 months that it's actually been selling organically. If all of those 3 things are happening, where I have 0 add to carts, 0 organic sales in my statistics, and I have 0 ROAS, I turn it off and I'm gonna go ahead and deactivate it. But like I mentioned before, here are the 5 things that I'm gonna do to try to revamp that listing again. First thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to duplicate the listing. I'm not just gonna start editing the existing listing that is already dead, because when you launch your Etsy listing on Etsy, the second you launch it, Etsy's judging that listing and Etsy's indexing your product listing in the Etsy search pages based off of clicks, add to carts, purchase conversion rates, all of these different metrics. So if that listing historically has a bad score because no one's buying it, it already has a horrible score, and you're not gonna try to fix that listing. You're gonna wanna duplicate it so you can get a fresh new score from Etsy when you go about publishing it. So after you duplicate it, the second thing that I'm gonna go ahead and try, I'm gonna try to revamp the listing with a new set of fresh product photography. This is something that I teach constantly, that even with all of your listings, you should be at least testing out a minimum of 2 main image photos so you can see which one gets a better CTR. So in this case, again, we're gonna go ahead and give it even more fresh photography. Maybe it's just something wrong with that main image that's not standing out in comparison to the competition in the search pages. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Now, the third thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to look back into my Etsy ads accounts, and I'm gonna go to that listing that has been running in the ads, and I'm gonna go look at the search terms. And I'm gonna go look in these search terms, and I'm gonna see if there's just some anomaly words that for whatever reason that listing was getting ranked for, and I was getting a lot of clicks but no purchases. This is where you need to kind of use data, but then also your own common sense of maybe there was some words in this listing that just don't make sense or they're not a keyword product fit. And so I'm gonna go ahead and see if those words do exist in that search term place, because for whatever reason, Etsy was ranking me for the word, or I was getting a lot of impressions for the word, but it wasn't making me a lot of sales. Obviously, if it's like an obvious keyword product fit, you can't take it out of the listing, but you're just looking for, sometimes there's like anomaly words that like, for whatever reason, Etsy starts indexing you for that you don't really need in your listing. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove those words. Now, the fourth thing that I'm gonna do is get a fresh new perspective of any potential new keywords that have come into the space. Maybe it's some new trend words or some just new words that I didn't think about previously. And I'm gonna do a second round of keyword research. I'm gonna use a tool like Sales Samurai, and I'm gonna search a broad search term that is a keyword product fit for the product. I'm gonna search that in the search bar. And basically, what Sales Samurai is going to do, Sales Samurai is going to let me click on this button here to pull up even more words that consist that main keyword that I'm searching for, that main broad search term that I'm searching for. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through all of these keywords here, and I'm going to see if there's any new high search volume keywords that, you know, Sales Samurai is suggesting that maybe I hadn't already previously added in my listing. And I'm gonna go ahead and add those new fresh keywords into the listing. Nowadays, Etsy is saying that they're prioritizing keywords that are in the front of your titles, tags, and descriptions. So you're gonna wanna put your strongest foot forward, your strongest keywords forward, and grab those highest search volume and ideally lower competition keywords first and put those in the front of your titles, tags, and description. They are actually having a Black Friday sale. So if you register for 6 months, you get it for only $39.99. I put a link in the description. You might as well get the Black Friday deal while you can. I don't even remember what step I'm on. What step am I on? I don't even remember. Now, since I've done some fresh new keyword research, I'm then gonna do another fresh round of competitor research. So out of all the new keywords and maybe even the previous keywords that I'm gonna include in this listing again, I'm gonna go do a second look of competitor analysis. So I'm gonna take that strongest keyword that I'm going after, I'm gonna put it into my search bar, and I'm gonna see what other competitors are ranking for that keyword. Basically, what I want to analyze is maybe there's new competition, maybe there's some new trends that I'm just missing the ballpark with the listing, which I can use that data to, you know, include those types of trends or colors or fonts or whatever in my product photography. Maybe my competition has now offered more value propositions, meaning they're bundling more than me or offering a quality or feature that my listing doesn't offer, so then I can use that data to improve my listing. I'm going to be looking for all of those things with the new competition or the updated competition that may be arising. I'm going to try to meet or beat my competition with where they're at currently for that keyword. Finally, didn't already know, we're gonna turn the ads on for that listing, so then we can give that listing a fresh new start in the algorithm and get that brand new score where hopefully we're gonna get indexed better than we were before because we've built a more competitive listing, and give this updated listing a fresh start at the algorithm. So we'd suggest letting this run in your ads account until it spends, you know, a significant amount of money where you can then say, okay, this is actually just a dead listing. Like, people actually just don't want this product. Maybe put it on sale or try to just at least break even on that product so I can focus on new products. And I would suggest you go through this round of, you know, trying to revamp your listing at least 2 more times just before you do that and just kind of break even on the product to be certain that it's actually the product and it's not just something on your end that you could just tweak and fix. Some ideas that you can do to increase value propositions is offer variations of the item, offer a lower tier and then a higher tier item in the main image photography, show the product bundled, offering different things. Also lifestyle photography, so lifestyle photography over white background photography. There's some other tips off the top of my head that usually help you out in the algorithm. So yeah, hopefully you guys got some value out of this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure you like this video. Check out Sales Samurai. They are a great product research tool. All right guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.